Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I'm so excited to have you guys here. So I do have my iPad, so I just want to make sure my volume's down on this so we don't have any. Hello, hi Marlena, hi Christy. Hello everyone. So I just wanted to start my live out for just a second and kind of just give you a little bit background story of me, of why we're probably doing this. I have been through a lot of houses in my years, and I have had the smallest kitchen, and this has been a dream kitchen for me, but I have also worked a lot of times on very small surfaces. So I'm really trying to, want you guys to interact with me. I want you guys to ask me your questions. I will talk a lot about how I do for smaller spaces, how entertaining. So however you guys kind of want this to go is how it's going to go. So welcome to my kitchen. So you are actually Chad's behind the camera, so thank you, Chad. So he'll follow along with us. Hi, Josepha. Hi. So we're just going to go through. When you come into my home, this is the shot you get, and I welcome you into my kitchen. So as we come in, this probably by far has been my favorite and most used area of my kitchen, other than the other side. So what this is I consider this to be my breakfast coffee bar, and this, I try to keep people away from where I am cooking, and everybody, as they're kind of moving through my house, usually stay in this area. I will tell you, I will usually get your first cocktail and drink first, and then I say, go ahead and grab whatever you need, and it just takes that pressure off of me. Most used appliance in my home is this baby. So if there is any way you guys can ever maneuver around having like just even the smaller ones, absolutely fabulous, and I love having all the drinks, and it doesn't take away my refrigerator space too, but partly, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. Yes, it's a breakfast area. So what I do, especially for us, I have to, kitchens to me, before I keep talking too much, is a work in progress. Things always are changing, your lifestyle changes, sometimes you're cooking for 2, sometimes you're cooking for 20, you might have kids, you might only cook for 1. So as we go through this is where I am in my life right now, where I like to entertain a lot. But some of these things that I have learned was because I was raising kids, 2 young boys by myself, and had a lot of kids around the house. So part of this is kind of figure out where your journey is right now with you and make your adjustments to this. These things all change, and even as I change my method of cooking, because what I used to do 15 years ago is not how I cook now. So when people always ask me like, what's your favorite pan? I usually will turn that around and ask you, how do you cook? What do you want to cook? You know, if you're a fish person or if you like to grill, those things are more important than what I use, but I will also share with you my favorite items in the kitchen, but I will also kind of put a little butt in there on what I use it for. So, I'm a huge coffee drinker. And so a coffee station to me in the morning is probably like the biggest thing. I want this to be happy. I want it to be usable, friendly. I have to tell you something about these spoons. More times than not, I do not, this is to me, I just bought these just extra spoons because you are constantly, if you use your normal spoons, you're always going to have no spoons by the time you want to set your table. So this is always set, and these spoons always stay over on this side by my coffee. If you're a tea drinker, just make this to your tea kind of thing. My husband, who is a dentist, is really into candy, so we have candy drawers, which is in, and you guys can see, if you want to see any of my drawers, I'll open up a few of them. But we have candy drawers, and this, and again, will be for my cocktails or for my coffee or things like that. This is where I change for the holidays. This is where I change for just to be fun. I'm in a yellow mood right now, so I have my yellow napkins. I know at my son's place, and we all have this. Yes, we are allowed to have candy. As long as he's fixing our teeth, we're good. But what I wanted to share, next to your oven, most people will have this small cabinet, and nobody knows what to do with it. That is probably one of the best places to create just a very small version of this. Yes, Lady Ann, the candy drawer like Grandma Heido, and Good and Plenty. Good and Plenty, we're very known for Good and Plenty here. But that cabinet, there's usually an upper and a lower, is a great place. I also keep everything very convenient. If I'm having drinks over here, if you notice up in my cabinets, this is completely all drinks. If Chad asks me for a cocktail, he knows what glass he's going to want to grab, and he's just going to grab it. So it makes it more fun, I think, too, for people to just feel like they're comfortable in your home, and they can go grab things. So what I do here, this is all my coffees and teas, and I keep everything to do with drinks here for everybody. So I don't want to talk about that too much, but I do want to share one of my absolute, if you guys are coffee or tea drinkers, just so I know, we talked about these. If you guys get a chance, and I have found these at Costco, I found these, but I did put a link there on sale right now on my Amazon link. These Bodum cups, they're the double insulated cups. I did buy a cheaper version, and I will honestly tell you the Bodums, B-O-D-U-M, are truly better quality. These keep your coffee hot, your teas hot, and I also just got these, which are more for like our iced coffees. If you have cold drinks with ice, it won't melt in there. So I just wanted to share. They're starting to come out now, and they are really a good winner, and I just absolutely love them. But they come in all different sizes, so that's kind of up to you guys, but I just wanted to share. Yeah, there's no handle on the cup, and what's funny is your hand doesn't get hot. So as hot as your coffee is, you totally hold it, and it's totally great. And they are glass. So, but your hand does not get hot with it, and it doesn't sweat. So they do have some though that do have the handle. They're a little more like the cappuccino. They have a couple of like 4 or 5 styles. They do have more like the cappuccino-ish kind of cup, but I just like the simplicity of these. It's kind of just the pattern that I hold. I like to keep things a little more simple, and I've gotten very, very used to. I do want to just share this because this kind of just happened to me. There are different sizes, and I believe this is the 8, and that's the 12 ounce. These are great, but these are the ones I pull. So I would go up to that middle size. Even though I just pour an 8 ounce cup of coffee, I like to have just a little bit. This just gets a little full for me. So I'll just set that out. In the back, if you notice, like a lot of I don't like too much stuff out, but anything I do have out has a purpose. There's a reason for it. It does change. So my husband right now is really into bagels. So he wants a bagel in the morning. So I kind of created a bagel station for him. So when he gets up, we both get up super early. He just knows this is where he gets his bagel. We set the bagel out, the butter, and everything's here. Sometimes, like one time we were really into juicing. This became my juice bar section. If you like energy bars, just maybe to have a few out that you can grab with your coffee. So I just like my life to be simpler and just kind of everything at touch. So you're not running around your kitchen, and everything that you enjoy will be kind of within that section. I know, I love keeping my butter out. I do believe in keeping my butter out. That's very funny to notice that. But sometimes we get a little hot in California, so I have to watch it just a little bit. But yes, I do keep my butter out. And everybody knows I'm a big Kerrygold butter fan. So that's another one of my favorite pantry items. It's Irish butter, and it is truly now the only butter we do use. So that's the Kerrygold. I do hide my microwave. I rarely, didn't even want one in here. It was more sometimes if somebody needed it, I never reheat my food in it. I don't even use the thing, and it's more for other people. So I just hid it, and what he did is he just made it into a cabinet for me. So if you're a big microwave person, obviously you would have yours out, but I never use it for. And also what I also do is this area too is my area that I put all my drinks, and even that changes. Right now we're really into certain drinks, so those go in here and the waters and everything. But enough of that. Let's move on to the pantry. So part of, and I have to give a call out to Bo, and I will put his link on to my, after we're done with this. He did all the decorating here, and I could not be happier. There's probably not one thing I would change in my kitchen. And he put up with me being very particular of the things that I like to cook and how I like to cook. So he nailed it off the ballpark, and I love him to death. So I'm very happy. So part of this was I definitely wanted a bigger refrigerator. So I did lose my, I'm a Diet Coke girl, so, but we do have Pepsi here now. You guys are, boy, you're looking at all my cupboards. I better be watching what I have in here. This has just been something recently I did. I always kept them in these XO, what are these? Storage containers. But I just found, and I am telling you, I love the look of this. This makes me so happy opening up this pantry of the labeling. And this they already had it already done for me, so I absolutely loved it. But this has been really a happy moment for me to have this all done like this. What I also, and the trick I want to tell you, one, my sister will probably tease me about how much flour I have. And again, my son was home. He doesn't like, so he liked more like almond flour. So I added that in here. Things that are behind this are probably my extra storage, maybe a flour that I don't use so much. So at any time when you have, all these cabinets open, or, you're going into your cabinets, these are the things you are using constantly. Hide behind there all the stuff. Hey, Christina. Hey, Deb. So here, you guys all know I'm a huge charcuterie person. So actually what I have done is I like to do things quickly. I don't want to look for them. I know what I'm out on. This little guy fell. This is more of my charcuterie, the chocolates. Do you label date on them too? On the very bottom of them, I will label date them. The things that I know I work through very quickly, I don't worry too much about. But certain things like my baking soda and my baking powders, things like that, I do label underneath there. So it's not seen. I don't like seeing it there, but I don't want it in the front, but I just hook it underneath. So this goes back to my charcuterie. This changes a little bit, but I always have almonds, nuts, pretzels. So this is a cabinet that I would always pull out. Yes, who noticed my Oreo? My husband just bought those. Again, the dentist is buying these things. And I don't know, I am telling you guys, if you can get these are, I don't know if I say it right, acai and blueberry flavors. Oh my God, these are fantastic. So if you have those, or can find those are absolutely terrific. But I do like to always keep that stored because charcuteries are probably my biggest thing that I create quite a bit. And then it just goes down to my, Josepha, you notice these? Oh my God, I love these. The Verb Energies. So these are more my snacks, more chocolates and nuts and things like that. So not that big of a deal. So that's that. Now, This cabinet now starts to be my, all my rices. I do a lot of pasta, and yes, I make a lot of pasta, homemade. I also know I grab quite a bit very last minute, where maybe I don't feel like pulling it out. So this is probably one of my most variety of, if that makes sense, variety of pastas that I do, just because you guys know I'm really into couscous and quinoas, and also with dietary reasons. I know a lot of people have dietary issues, so I have like a gluten-free pasta. One of my friends is gluten-free, so I always make sure I have that. It's not something I'm going to make or anything like that. I do want to share just a couple of things with you guys in my pantry. Again, just a couple of my favorites. These beets, and if you guys like beets, maybe give a holler, but I love beets. These are already done in packages, and I cook quite a bit with these beets. So they come in a box, but they come in separated packages. They're already peeled and partially cooked. I love these things. So just in case you guys do, you'll probably see a lot of my recipes with the beets in there. So these are a great find if you can find those. Also, there is a brand, and they actually have an Alfredo too. The Sonoma Gourmet is really a great company. I'm really liking it, so I just kind of wanted to let you be alerted to that. If ever you wanted to try the Sonoma Gourmet, it's really, they have an Alfredo, they have a couple other kinds of pastas, but I usually will keep that. And again, part of these are because, yes, I make my sauce, but man, there's times I'm just dumping it, into my slow cooker like I did last night. And these, and I even found the link for these because probably the most asked about and most wanted out of my pantry are these guys, these artichoke hearts. And I did link these. The marinade, even though I've seen other jars of these, but the taste on these by far, I've never had anything quite like these. And I don't have to keep adding dressing to my salads. I make a lot of orzos where I'll just actually use the juice of that. We like a lot of artichokes. So these are probably my absolute favorite, this new Sonoma, and these artichoke hearts by Kirkland, and the beets are probably my main focus there. Do you guys have any questions yet? I'm not really seeing. Oh, that tikka masala, yes. Oh my God. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yes, this tikka masala, my son spent hours and hours making these. And I have to tell you, for how it tastes and making it homemade, you can't beat it. It is absolutely fantastic. So great call on that. I forgot to, this is really good, this tikka masala brand, which is, I got this at Costco, I just know that. And then there's really, unless you guys want to see anything there, this is just part of my organization, so nothing there. Yes, the chicken Marcella, oh my God, I love the chicken. That is such a quick, easy meal. I absolutely love it. And then in this corner, if you guys notice, I do not have a real big kitchen table in my house by not wanting one. My dining room, and especially how this house was running, my dining room is my kitchen table. But what happens, more times than not, everybody's in your kitchen. So it was more important to me that you guys surrounded me and were kind of a part of my cooking than anything else. Hence, 4 people can sit here and it's kind of just a quiet spot. I actually do more computer work and more reading in that corner than I do anything else. And the layout of the kitchen was definitely not something I was worried about, having this big kitchen table in. I was more wanting people around in my island, which you'll see in a second. So, my infamous boards, and I'm going to actually pull this down for a second. These boards, as you can see, I've actually decorated with them. Brilliant combo. I have all different kinds of charcuterie boards. These are absolutely my favorite. I use them as dessert boards. If most of you following me probably saw that. I also like to do a But here, if you have a so they just hang, which I love. So I don't have, but I do want to show you something. If you have a rectangle island, what this does for you, it is probably the main reason why I got these. So no matter, and most islands are rectangular. I will put the two together like this. Let me go grab the other one. Because how many people are reaching over to try to grab, if you put in, if I put in a circle one, and the way my countertops are set up for the island set up, the 5 people here is probably, these 2 seats, let me tell you, are the most used seats in my house. But this is where everybody congregates. But when I do set up for parties, or I just have a few people over, this is my setup so that everybody, these 2 people and those 3 people can always hit the charcuterie. So if you have anything rectangular, island or anything like that, even just one of these are fantastic to lay a charcuterie out, because you can lay it out more like that. As opposed to if you had to put one circle in the middle, these people are reaching. So I just kind of duplicate kind of what I'm doing. I don't make 2 different ones with the same boards, but it definitely makes it easier for people as you're congregating, or even in the center. But this is also my dessert boards when I go do that. So I love these. Let me go guys. And thank you guys. Any questions? Sound is going. Sound is going. Hopefully my shoes aren't clanking and getting in the way of the sound, but let me know if it is going. So the other thing, which I kind of talked about briefly too, when you're in your kitchen, this was one of my travels, and this is, again, whether it's empty or full, I still leave it here. I don't go looking for a bowl if I get a bunch of lemons. It's beautiful just as is, and I just love the look of the wood and everything in there now. But I also, everything that's out is something that I'm either knowing I'm going to fill or use. So as much as I joked about my husband having bagel fetish right now, I am having my ginger and turmeric with carrot juice and orange juice. So this is my little station for me every morning that I come out, and I just grab from the refrigerator my orange juice and carrot juice. So right now, this is my little baby. And I just put it in a pretty glass jar as I do it. And that way I'm not digging for things. And I love the look of all the texturing, and and if I did, let's say I get off of this mood, I just would hang the board probably, or just lean it up against there. Oh, palm trees. Yes, you're probably seeing some palm trees out there. This corner in every kitchen that I have helped organize and have had at home is the most underutilized corner I think most people have. And I would like for you to give thought to your corner. Obviously, you guys know I do a lot of cooking, so these to me are, I do go through these quite a bit. But this could be where your coffee station is. Or if you guys drink a lot of wine every night. I mean, I don't, but this could be a really fun little wine station and make it pretty. Things that you use, you want your kitchen to feel like it's usable. Nothing in here that is here, I mean, maybe 1 or 2 things, but most everything in here is used. Pretty, but used. So I just kind of really want to share that when you look at your kitchen, just think if you're walking too far to get a drink, or, you got to come over here for your tea bags, but yet you're grabbing your coffee cups way on the other end or across the other kitchen. So, yeah, just by hearing about your bag of flour. Oh my God, I'm gonna laugh too hard. And if you see any of my styling of my tables, or even as I as I work, I do everything in white. Not different companies, different people, but different size bowls. Sometimes I do my pasta bowls. My plates, I have 2 sets of these. I don't use paper plates around here. It's just kind of my thing. So those are always here. You know, this little guy, you know, he just makes me happy. I adore him. So put in your, you know, every so often you'll see, like, this is because of my one son as he's traveling and being shipped across seas. Like, there's little things in here that during my day are just maybe memory of somebody, or and I just hide them. And they're kind of not meant to be seen, but seen, and they just make me happy in the morning when I open up for that. So if there's little things through the house that that you guys have that are special to you, find very special, find a little special place for them in your, you know, and it just adds a little pop of color. But back to my white dishes. Accumulated through the years. I love TJ Maxx, love World Market, Pier 1. I think they're totally gone now, but Pier 1 used to be a big thing of mine. So no matter what I design, my dishes, all those things aren't used. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about it. So again, I do have a purpose for each of my bowls and plates, and I do use probably everything in there. The things on the very top, I definitely have used more just on more special occasions, but not, I guess I don't consider anything that special occasion. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something funny. So in the design of this was my only cutting board because I do shift right away into my oven. So this is constantly out. It is part of the design of this, the spacing of it, and everything that was here. You guys all know, and my balsamics are always part of my cooking. This is a series of them, so this is always things I want on hand. My olive oil, and this is my workstation. So when you open up, this is probably my most worked drawer. These are things, because I know I sear and bake and sous vide a lot, these are things that are always going to be handed to my left. And I'm just trying to pre-press this just a little bit. So when you open up this, right now, because I really am into searing and baking, these are all the things that I want on hand, and I don't want to be picking up a lot of pans to look for them. Then I work my way down. We all have those dead corners, but truly these 2 drawers are my most used skillets, pans that I have. Always at my convenience. The other thing I always have to my convenience to my left, just because, get your hand off the speaker. Oh, sorry, I just of course I read up on that one. I don't know if you guys have Lazy Susans. A lot of kitchens have them. And again, this is how you cook, what you cook, and you know how much you need to do. When I was cooking for the kids, the slow cooker was the #1 thing I used probably the most. So that was always going to be handy next to my oven. I never put it away, just because I didn't need to keep putting things away that I know for my life that I was going to grab every day. The 4 major components that I do use in my cooking are on this Lazy Susan and separated accordingly. So I always use my balsamics, which is first up. And then it goes to my olive oils. So those are always used, and I probably have been using these things for probably 15, 20 years. So my olive oils and balsamics are always top of the line for me to grab, different flavors, different things. So then I collect salts from around the world. Just kind of one of those things in my travels. I thought that was fun. So a lot of people bring me back salts and things. But I do, even though, you know, I know people sing with salts, but having a lavender salt sometimes on top of a beautiful salad just adds a burst that nobody quite knows what you're doing. And then I do like a lot of honeys as sweeteners too. So those are kind of my 4, right, and actually this has probably been about at least 10 years of doing this, 10, 15 years. Those are my 4 top. I do have a spice rack and it's coming. And yes, onion garlic keepers, I do like them. I do go probably quicker through them than I pull them out. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. These are mason jars, but there's a special lid that can kind of come into these. I love these for making great salads with my olive oils and balsamics and things out in the garden. So, oh, and my salt brick. Yes, I'll show my salt brick. So there's that. This stock pot is out at all times. Oh, Leanne, I know honey can change, and I did not ever realize how much a bee and where he pollinates his little guys can change the taste of honey. I'd love to go to the farmer's market and try new honeys. Absolutely a great. I'm not a real super sugary person. If you notice in my cooking, the balsamics and olive oils will probably be always my finishers. But a honey, oh my gosh, is absolutely fabulous. And do try them, especially if you have a farmer's market near you. Up north tastes so different than south in California, like the lavender fields and the desert, which you wouldn't think desert. I actually really like our desert honey. It's much of a drier, calmer honey. So it's kind of fun to try all the different. So anyways. The stock pot, again, this is out at all times. I use it for my sous vide. I use it for my pastas. So I make it pretty. Again, I chose white. And I do take that right to the table, but I don't worry about trying to always put this away or things like that. I do, however, next to... So to the left, usually of most people, if you're right-handed, the left is usually in your oven that you need to be working with to create your meal. And then to your right are things that I don't tend to grab as much, but I have different size stock pots, things for all my herbs. And my infamous stock pot, I will show you guys this. And I will probably I've done reels on this, but oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys have ever worked with a salt plate. Great for grilling. I just put asparagus right on top. Sushi's fabulous on this. You can make this freezer cold and then put sushi. Goes right into your oven, goes right on top of the grill. I love this thing. And the salt, you can see my older one here. I did get a fresher one, but the salt does flavor your food. So it starts out, but it does get into your food. I will do a lot of my tomatoes and burrata on there. If I'm slow cooking my tomatoes, will go right on there. There is absolutely a different taste with that salt. It's a Himalayan salt block, and I actually got it at World Market. And if you got coupons, and they do run that on sale for sure. So I love that. Do you guys have, oh, what brand is the pot? This is my Le Creuset. It was a gift from my son one Christmas. So again, I know he bought me that kind of thing. I've had other brands, but to me, when I see that, I always think of him. So there's little things like that the kids have maybe especially done for me or my husband that I just look at it and I smile. So that's what I talk about. The warmth of the kitchen is due to what people know who I am and what I like. And so that's probably one of my favorites, the bigger one. When we talked about, I had the other bowl filled with lemons and limes. This one is where I do a lot of my vegetables, if I bring out asparagus or my tomatoes. Again, when this is empty, I just love the artisticness of it. Just keep in mind, because I bought, like my son has a much smaller kitchen in his apartment in LA. but they love this idea, and they do a lot with tomatoes. So I just made when I found one, it was probably about half this size. Just don't make sure it's too wide coming out, because I do use this space. So all these things in back, they're not anything that I'm not needing to worry about using, losing counter space, but they're easy grabs for me. So when I want to grab, if you notice, I'll have olive oils probably in 3 different spots in my kitchen, because I just want to grab it. So if I'm preparing maybe a tray of tomatoes over here, I'm just going to be grabbing that and adding it on. But again, this is a living little, this is olive oil wood, which I just think is really pretty. I was losing your guys' questions here for a second. Yeah, the container of wood. Again, if you notice, I love all my, Bo will kind of laugh at me because I said to him I want an all-white kitchen. And obviously my kitchen is not all white, but he knew what I wanted was warmth, but I still like the cleanliness and the brightness. I don't even know if it's cleanliness. I still like the brightness of white. We introduced a lot of the white behind here, and he knew my white dishes were going to be part of the whiteness that I wanted. So the naturalness of wood added into more modern piece, or the modernness of the white maybe, kept me, because I'm not modern, and so I love adding the wood. So you will see, where did the wood goals come? Actually, this was in one of our, actually both of these, we were up in Napa, and we went into like not an art store, but like a woodworking guy was up there. So we ended up buying these, and I probably bought these, oh my gosh, at least 15 years ago. But I have seen, I have seen them like at TJ Maxx. So again, if you see something interesting like this, just make sure it's not too deep, that it comes onto your counter so that you can still use your counter, but find some interesting shapes. I also, I know, I'm trying to remember, I think one time I did a bowl like this. It was shaped a little more interesting, but you can, depending on your countertop color, let's say you wanted to add white, and then you wanted to throw some tomatoes in there, that would be just as lovely, to do something like that and have your tomatoes and onions in there, or garlic, or however, kind of do. So even doing a white bowl, I don't know what color your tile is behind, but it doesn't have to be wood. I just like the look of the wood too in there, but that can kind of be a quick, easy little. And this came from my sister, so I'm giving him my sister all the way from Ohio. So even though we're in Palm Springs, I still have my little penguin there. So that's kind of, so the other part of the kitchen that there's 2 more parts I just wanted. Oh, my spice drawer. I did do a reel on this, and I have had others. This has by far, in all my old years, my favorite spice drawer ever. And again, this matched the same that I did over at my pantry. Here's why I like this, and I still have a few more in here. How many times that we have these, and you're trying to measure out a teaspoon or things like that. I love I like the look of wood when I open up the drawer, but I like that I can just put a little in my hand, or a teaspoon fits right in here, or a tablespoon, and you're not trying to get that little lid off, you shake it and all that kind of stuff. So these are my favorites, and have made my life much quicker when I'm grabbing different seasonings and things like that. And yes, I do date underneath, just with the glass helps if you just have not a permanent marker, but just a marker, and then I can just usually do that. Or sometimes my little sticker, they came with these little stickers, which was cute. So I just put that on the bottom too. So it was like a whole little kit that came. But I love it, and if I can suggest, if you are doing any other things, I do like with the wood lid. Sandy, I have a link on I'll talk about that. I did link it on my Amazon finds. I found them on Amazon, and I found the labels. I particularly linked my particular ones because I did try a couple other ones that I wasn't as happy with. These are the ones that I stuck with, and these labels were my absolute favorites. So I did link that, so I'll make sure you get that. Yeah, Amazon, and oh my gosh, great price on these. So let me share this too. If you're reorganizing this spice store, this was a work of progress. It's not something that I said, okay, I need, and I think they come by the 12s, the spice jars, and they come taller. I know how this was enough for me, and I have a whole pantry just full of all my extra, because I do buy from Amazon the bigger things of certain ones that I use a lot. But this is more workable for me. And I know I needed this stand. Usually comes in 3s. I knew I wanted 4, because as you guys can see, I do quite a bit of different spices. So that was in my mind. These expand, so then you'll know what your size of your, most people's drawers will be more on like this order. So these work great for that. Start with just one, like I think it was, like I said, a set of 12 or whatever. I sat here and I figured out, what do I really need? What do I want? What needs to be in there? Even my pantry. I mean, I didn't go buy all these XOs. I kind of started, I've been using them for years, so I had a bunch, but as I was kind of redoing more my, we're getting more into like couscous and orzos and things like that lately, I kind of just slowly, it was great with Amazon, I just slowly kept working with it and kind of configuring for your good, what your family's needing. And again, are you single? You're not going to buy you're not going to need the big thing of flour over here like I have, but a nice container of that, they have great sizes for that, is plenty. So again, let it work. Don't think you're going to be done in a day. This took me it was probably a good 4 days of me just kind of playing around with it and seeing what was going to make me happy and what did I really want in there and things that I didn't want, or even in that other pantries that I just was redoing. I've been probably a good 3 weeks on there, and just kind of adding as I need it. So I know you see these great pictures like, oh, it's done, and you'll be seeing one of mine where I'm like, oh, it's done. But let it be known, there's a lot of hard work and things out on the countertops and trying to figure things out and what sizes, and this size didn't work. So it was easier for me to just keep rebuying it as I needed. And like there was one missing, so I knew I just popped it onto Amazon for that. But did you see the pantry? Did you not see? That is my pantry. These all over, I'll have Chad walk over here. These 2 cabinets are my pantry. But if you're talking about my overage pantry, but yeah, these are my pantries. This is all I basically keep. I'll open them all up. All my food is stored within here. I do have, and out of design or so a lot of things are kind of hidden behind there. I mean, I'll show you. I mean, like, Jack can get it. I mean, I have malted milk. It's probably twice a year that he likes to have malted milk. I don't know. But it's not something I'm going to worry about or need in my fronts. I know I'm missing my milk chocolate when I make that skillet marshmallow thing that I do. So I know I need to go to the store for that. But all this space that all of us have in these cabinets, I don't, that's my extras or things that I worry about. These are things that I am grabbing fast and I need every day. So yes, the next closet is the one you are not going to see, my other pantry. My husband likes to buy in bulk, so my kitchen doesn't hold all that. I did get rid of maybe one day I'll show you what this kitchen originally looked at. There was a big kind of a walk-in pantry. I did take that away. But organization and everything that I could fit in that actually fit in these 2 cabinets. So it's not always about the size of something, or it is really how you're organizing and how your life being that day. I mean, you know, again, it goes back to lifestyle or things that, you know, so when I throw parties or things like that, I know there's certain items. I'm not grabbing my little thing of, you know, olives over here. I'm grabbing my big thing of olives. But on a whole, 90% of the, 95% of the time, whereas 2 to 4 of us, these sizes work for me. I also, if ever you guys, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're pretty good. I want to share this because it's just keep this in the back of your brain in case you ever get into this situation. I always thought I wanted a line of, you see it a lot in magazines, a line of bar stools. The most brilliant thing and the happiest thing I've ever had my decorator do was he did 3 and 2 seats. So you are literally talking to all these 5 people at all times. You are not going sideways or the person on the end like a bar where you can't talk to this person. So in here, these 5 seats or these 5 people are always communicating, and these 2 chairs, as you can tell, is always used morning, all day long, even if I'm doing computer work, especially by somebody here. These are the 2 seats that are used. So just, it's probably my favorite thing ever. I didn't talk about the brand of the stove. And I'll share just a little bit of, I dreamed of having a Viking and a wolf, you know, I always all my life, it was in my vision statement. And something very funny happened. We found out that wolf was sold, so the little wolf head is no longer, so the products was not made the same. And because I cook a lot of pastas and I do a lot of simmering and sear and bakes, there was 2 things that was really important to me in my stove. Back here are special simmer burners. And then in the front, there's more of a higher heat burners here for me. That is because that was important to me. Every stove has its reasons. The Thor, which is kind of not a real known brand, I guess, but I love it. It actually is made through but the pieces are made from Germany and Italy. That is how wolf used to be made. The hardiest that you're gonna get. This is a working chef's stove. My budget was getting a little tighter. It did not cost me nearly as much, but it was probably the best thing I ever did. This is a workhorse, and especially when I knew what happened with Wolf, and things may have changed. This has been a few years since I've had this, but I hope that kind of answers that. I hope she reads stove brand. Oh, I did. Okay, so it's Thor. And the other thing, which is very funny, and I don't know how clean my oven is right now. That's pretty clean. I wanted a blue oven. Blue oven, and what's the other brand? Thermador, I think. There's one other brand there's only one other brand that does a blue oven. Blue, when you are cooking, is the only color not found in food. So I can visually see my food differently than if you have a different, not that it makes your life, you can't cook without a blue, but it was kind of, I really wanted a blue inside for my kitchen. And I have to tell you something very funny about the tiles behind me. I did not like blue. Blue was never in my forefront. But again, because, you know, when you talk to your friends and you talk to your decorator or whoever you're doing with, he knew blue was not part of food. So that's why blue, again, so this looks way prettier with the red tomatoes on there and things like that. So those are just fun little, I absolutely love the blue background and I wouldn't change it. Let me see if I can get, I'll talk real quick. So, a lot of people like to come here and cook with me, especially when my kids come into town. Some of the dancers like to come in here, and we all like to cook. 2 people in the kitchen is usually about where you want to be, especially if you're cooking. But to have somebody in here fun or doing one part of your cooking is absolutely so fun. I'm sure all of us with our families love that. So it's usually about 2. I did widen up my space in between here for 2 of us to always walk through, and we're not going to ever bump into each other. But what I had to create afterwards, because this was always my little section, I did create another secondary, which is what you guys see me at when you see live. This is my second cutting board where I do most of my prep work. I have my oils again, my basils, and my salt and peppers over here too. So I do have 2 distinct sections, and because of that, because this person happens to be where, all the tools that I want. So if I have my person here, I created my little section over here for myself, because somehow Mom gets over in this section, but this is actually where I go live with you guys. I know somebody brought up my junk drawer. You want to see my junk drawer? I have 2 junk drawers, and here they come. This is number 1, and it is usually, I do want to tell you this, probably 4 times a year I go through my kitchen, and 90% of the time it is very organized, and then you have the 10%. You have the crumbs on the bottom of your, bread drawer or whatever. Somebody didn't put something quite back to where it is, because everybody in this house knows where everything goes. If I say where's the scissor drawer, everybody knows this is my scissor drawer, and they will find it. So this is what I consider my junk drawer. These are my glasses as I need to read. The lipstick is guests are coming over, and all our keys. It's very funny. People get upset if they can't find their keys, because they're like, oh my God, they're not in the key drawer. So this is very organized for us. And I'm always looking for glasses and pens, and so these are my main things that, I don't know, we seem to lose a lot in the house. And then my other junk drawer, where's the mail? Actually, it sits right over there when the mail didn't come yet today. Never trust a skinny Italian chef is where all my mail sits. And then over in my other hallway, which is under works, is a basket that I keep anything that I don't want out in my kitchen that needs to still get worked on. So it gets there first, and then it shifts over. I have like a mini desk in my hallway, and that's all the things that I need to. So this is So when I talk to you guys about my little black book, it's not black, but this is where I take notes of everybody that's telling me their secrets of food and favorite things or cultures or things like that. So I always just keep it real close with pens and everything, and lotions that I always need with but this is probably more I'm always looking for a screwdriver. I'm not going into my husband's spot. So these are my little hidden screwdrivers and things that you need really right at hand. Grocery list. What I normally do is on my phone, because my husband actually does all the shopping, usually at Costco. So he wants that all text. So on my phone in notes, I usually will put things immediately. I know there's a thing on my refrigerator. I've never used it. And I am a huge, actually what's not out right now, Jack can stay there because I'm going to walk to my little secondary little office here. Everybody that knows me knows I write everything down on yellow pads, and I do that. So this pad will always, a lot of times this pad is in here. I just don't know why it's not in there right now. But I will write down my grocery list in here, and then when he needs to go, I just take a picture of it, and I'm good to go, and then I kind of keep track of what's going on. And actually, a lot of times now with Amazon, I almost just go right on Amazon. A lot of, depending what my groceries are, things that I need, I just kind of go on Amazon now and just order it right away. So it's, all right, so I think we're almost, does anybody have any questions for me? I hope it gave some ideas and some suggestions. If you guys have any questions, like what you're doing with your kitchen or how to organize it, I would love to help. I do quite a bit of that with a lot of my friends. So I really appreciate you guys showing up. Where's the chilled wine? Oh, you guys are good. Actually, I'll let Chad, it's in my diet. So that was part of, it's funny you said that, because we were gonna put in a white cabinet into my kitchen, and my drinks are probably more important, the waters, and I know that's there, but Chad will kind of just peek over into the dining room. That's where, and that is actually a Thor too, in case you guys are wondering. What I did is I bought 2 single ones, and we reversed the doors, so that if I still have my countertop on top, that I could have there. But that's where all the chilled wine is, more in the dining room. So, what's in the, all right, Sandy, because I just, I don't know if I finished my sentence. 4 times a year, I probably go really through my kitchen and spring clean it. I do, because it drives me crazy when, you know, there's stuff hidden behind. I'm going to give you a second here. Believe me, there's food caught in the back that I don't remember and things like that. But on a whole, that's my refrigerator. It is not as filled. Oh my gosh. Favorite, and Leanne, I know if you're still on, these are probably, and I did do a link to them, and I think I'm going to do something fun with these with you guys. But these 4 are, because I like the clear, so anything I do for storage, and again, it's glass. I just don't like a lot of plastic and things like that. And I will bring these out to the table, but I love that they stack and I can get full height of, and I wasn't lying, my husband's really into bagels right now. I do have, my cheese drawer is probably the most full. And I have, then we kind of have a meat drawer, but that kind of, and pastas and things like that. And then eggs, but yeah, this is usually our drinks and, oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so probably, let me talk real quick before I lose you. I have been doing this for probably almost 40 years. Because I always bring water to the table. I always keep chilled water that I know I can always pull out. I love these containers. Probably have shared these the most, but if you want to add even just one of these into your kitchen, oh my gosh, you'll love it for just bringing it out. Can you do a contest to win a cooking section with you? Oh, yes. I think we should just do one, so we can figure that out. And I think, yeah, cheese drawer, I'm telling you, I'm a huge cheese, well, you know that. What is under your coffee bar? The wine is under your coffee bar? That tends to be what most people do. But I was able to actually work out something in my dining room, so I didn't worry about that. So I hope you guys got some tips, things worked out. We're probably going to be cut down. So thank you guys. Message me for sure if you have any questions. On Linktree in my bio, you'll see in my Amazon finds, and there's a whole page full of everything that I kind of put most of my favorites. If there's something not there, I will definitely give you my exact brand that I use. So I really would appreciate if you want to do that. You'll actually get to my website, but I can also send you the link too if that helps, especially on certain things. I know I definitely am kind of a little bit particular about certain things. So thank you guys, and love you all, and I really, really, really do appreciate this. This was fun for me. Take care.